Gwen Fox, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today's going to be very exciting because I'm going to be doing an interview with a gal that I've been coaching, but she's really special because she's come a long way in a short period of time. Her name is Margaret Dukeman, and I'm going to introduce her to you right now so that you get to meet her. And here is Margaret.
Hey,
Hello, Margaret. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, listen, we've got people that want to know all about you. So tell us, like, where do you live and how long have you been painting and so forth?
Okay. I live in Huntsville, Alabama. I was born and raised in the Midwest. As you can tell, I don't have much of a Southern accent, but lived here now for 33 years, so it's home.
It's
It's home.
home. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been painting. Wow, I've been painting probably about 30 years. Before that, I'm a graphic designer by trade. But like most artists, we've done a bit of everything. So I did graphic design freelance for quite a while, and then I went on to painting. And painting got brought to the forefront after I had an aunt and uncle killed instantly in a car accident, and I realized just how short life is. So I decided that
Yep.
I needed to get on with what I really, really wanted to do, which was the painting. So that brings me to today.
Wow. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time, number one, to be here because I know you're busy and because you live, I mean, not live, but you visit Ireland a lot.
I do. I do. Yeah, I go most years I go for about 8 weeks at a time. And this year I'm actually going to go twice. And
Lucky
so
you.
yeah, yeah. So I go over there, I do a lot of research, I take a lot of photos. I'm also a bit of a photographer, so I take photos and I do watercolors and use the Irish Sea as part of the water for the watercolors. So bring a bit of
Woo-hoo.
that, yeah, I bring a bit of that Ireland back with me through the through the watercolors. And I spend a lot of time walking the hills and driving the back roads and just soaking in every bit of the color and atmosphere I can.
And then I got to meet you because during the pandemic, you signed up for the master class
I did,
for the
yeah.
sanity of getting, having something to do because everybody was stuck. Now, and then you went from the master class to coaching.
I did. I did. Yeah, the master class, it was neat because the master class let me dip my toe into spending time with you and seeing if personalities were going to come together, if I liked how the direction that you were teaching and things like that.
Right.
And I so enjoyed it. And I so enjoyed the other artists that were in the group.
It was a great group.
Yeah, we had an amazing group, and it
Yes.
wasn't so big. It was a nice size. We all got great critiques in, and we were able to really work together.
Right.
And there- those people are still friends of mine today. I still follow
I
them, and
know.
they follow me. And anytime we get a chance to get together, we do, which isn't too often because we live all over the place, even in some in Ireland. So
Yes, there were
yeah,
2 in Ireland.
there were, yeah,
There were
yeah.
2 in Ireland. So, the one thing I remember about you in the master class is that I could see that you had talent or abilities that you didn't know you had, that hadn't recognized yet. And it was kinda like you were working and you were serious and you were going for it, but you had your brakes on as you had the pedal going.
I did. I absolutely did. And yeah, that was that, and it was just something that I don't think I ever would have noticed by myself. But
Mm,
getting into a class situation, a coaching situation, someone from outside that has the knowledge is able to say, "Hey, take a look at this, take a look at that," and it awakes you, and it lets you go outside of that normal box, which I
yeah.
think is so incredibly important. But sometimes, unless we're kicked out of the box or get voted off the box, we
Yeah.
don't, we don't bother to go outside of that.
No.
And it made a huge difference for me to be able to have someone say, "Hey, go ahead and try it." I think you sit there, you realize that your supplies are expensive. You've had people make comments here, comments there. And I've been through college. I've been through critiques many, many times, but you tend to stay safe. unless
Yep,
someone
you
encourages
sure
you to
do.
go outside of that space.
Yeah.
No one wants to be voted off the island.
Nobody, yes, that's right. I think the word that you used was that you were reserved
I was,
because you were playing
absolutely.
it safe.
I was very much playing it safe. I had always done pretty much realism when I painted. Because I'd get asked many times, people with abstracts will say, well, what is that supposed to be? It's, it's like, no, I'm not in kindergarten. It's not supposed to be exactly anything at all.
Oh, I know. People will ask the darndest things and they're adults.
Yeah, they
You
are. But
know?
I find it fascinating to free someone up to say it doesn't have to be anything. Does it appeal to you? I
Mhm.
think meeting them where they're at, I think an interesting place for the artist to be, where we open up to them and say it's okay for you to have this feeling that it needs to be something, because they don't always realize that either.
No,
That
you're right.
they don't want to hurt your feelings. They need the permission to say, that one's not for me. And you said, that's right, it must not be, because if it's for you, you're going to know it and you're going to take it home.
That's right. That's right. I will never forget when I moved from painting realistic flowers to doing the abstracts. And one gal says, "I can't wait till you get back to the good stuff." And I thought, "Ooh, I've got to remember that. That's a good statement."
And isn't that great? Isn't that great? I mean, and abstracts aren't for everyone. Not everyone. It's not. They're just not for everyone.
No,
But
no,
as a, as an artist, I can tell you, when you finally get to the point where you have the confidence to move in a direction that goes against what some people may think you should be doing,
yes,
that's when some of the excitement happens. You have opened yourself to say, "Hey, I am who I am, and I'm painting for me. I have to get this out of my soul
right,
to a canvas." And some of
right,
the best magic happens then.
yeah. And the one thing that I noticed about you, and I notice about actually every artist that I coach, uh, is that your confidence grew tremendously
It
as you progress because Margaret, you changed your brushstrokes, you changed your subject, you changed how you looked at things, you changed almost everything within a year and a half period.
Yeah,
I mean, you worked your ass off.
I did. I worked really, really hard.
You
I've
did.
been painting for a long time, but the last year and a half to 2 years, it's been really, really digging deep and finding what makes me sing. Because what
Yes.
makes me sing is going to make someone else sing. And I just think that's so important. So important.
Well, you brought up a really good point about supplies and paint being, you don't want to waste. You don't want to waste anything because it's really expensive and or you feel like it is. You don't want to waste. And that's one of the things that I think will cause you to do this
It is. It is.
because
Well,
you don't put enough out. You just put a little bit out.
yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't come from a family that had a tremendous amount of money, and
Mhm.
so I was always taught to be careful with your
Sure.
supplies, be careful with your food. Don't waste your food. Don't waste your
That's
supplies.
right.
Make it, make it, make it count. Make it
Make
count.
it count.
And
Yes.
no, I'm making it count, but I'm also living outside my box, which
Yeah.
is a whole lot of fun. Once you can put a door in that box and get out, it's amazing the things that can happen. I mean, my brushstrokes have going doing the master class where we worked on some abstracts and things like that.
Right.
It allowed me to take the brush and use it on its side, or use it straight at it. All these things that you're like, that's going to hurt the brush. Let's use it like this.
Yes, because I don't wanna I don't wanna hurt anything. That's right.
Like,
That's right. And the other thing is that I think we feel, and I don't know if you do, but I bet you do, is that when you go into the studio and you pull out a new canvas, that you've got to paint a painting,
oh, absolutely. Yeah,
you
there
know?
has to be a direction. There has to be a direction.
Yes. Yes.
but it's not so much that way now, and I think that's because of the abstract, pulling the abstracts in as well. I think it
Mhm.
allows me to let my mind roam, let my, vision roam, um, and go in different directions, and it really, I have to say, working with abstracts, I've always been someone who loves color, likes the saturation of it and everything else, but with the masterclass, one thing I was taught was to limit my colors, which was
Yeah,
something
right.
I have a whole chest of color. It's like I haven't met a color I didn't like except for what's that color, Gwen?
Yes, it's red.
Red.
Yes,
I
I think
finally found one I did like though. I found one I did
that's
like.
good. That's good.
But by limiting my colors, it encouraged me to do more mixing. It encouraged me to
Yeah.
once again go outside that box and bring colors together that I wouldn't necessarily say, "Oh, those go together."
Mhm.
So limiting your colors makes all the difference in the world. You can have a chest of colors, but
And we all do.
we
Oh,
do. And
yes. It's the candy store, let's face it. It's the
oh,
candy store. But
seriously,
you made a statement that I think is awesome. And now in your brain, there is no box.
no, there's not. There's not at
See,
all. I mean, my box now has windows and doors, and I'm out.
you're out. And that is awesome. That is so way cool. But you've done all of this growth. And I'm sure some people think she's so lucky and it happened. I mean, look at her. This she just paints really beautifully and it's normal for her. But you worked hard for this and you grew. And let's see, within the last, I think maybe, is it 6 months or 8 months?
Mhm.
All of a sudden, our work together has come to a bloom, actually, to come to fruition because, okay, not everybody gets a one woman show at a museum.
They don't. That was I was so excited to be offered that.
Oh,
I they came to me. I didn't necessarily seek them out, and I was looking at having around 60 pieces. So I had to have a large inventory, and I absolutely loved every minute of it. It was to be featured in a museum was such an honor for me, and I really enjoyed every minute of it. To see the entire museum full of my work.
oh, that,
It
I mean, that is an incredible, has to be an incredible feeling.
it was
Plus,
amazing. It was amazing. I opened the door and it's me. I mean,
I
I'm used to going
know,
to museums going, oh look at all these amazing paintings. And I opened the door and it was me.
just you. And that, see, that is phenomenal. But there is another aspect to this. They paid to get in to listen to her talk about her work and about Ireland.
They did. It was an evening that was all about Ireland, and they had a dinner, and the dinner I helped them pick out different things that would be Irish to have at the meal, and I spoke and I talked about my travels there, what brought me there. What brought me to Ireland the first time was my mother for her 70th birthday. My sisters and I decided we were going to take her. She'd always wanted to go. And my mother my mother wanted to go to the countryside, and I thought, oh gosh, what are we doing? And little did I know that that would completely change the direction of my art. From then on, it was the colors, it was the structures of the mountains, it
Yeah.
was the people. Our ancestry comes from the Barra Peninsula, and there is such a draw to Southwest Ireland and West Cork that I don't know, it must be in the DNA somewhere.
It
So
must be.
yeah, so I got to talk to them and tell them how I walk the mountainsides, how I walk the land, how I absorb the colors and bring part of it back with me through photos and watercolors. And then I come to my studio here and I actually do the oil paintings.
Yeah.
Oil
Right.
paintings would just be so difficult to transport back from
Right. Yeah, you can't do that.
no, but it also, once again, it allows me to go outside of that box by doing watercolors, which was something 15 years ago I
Oh,
hadn't done
that's
in
great.
college. So
Yeah.
once again, I jumped outside my comfort zone box and said, I'm doing colors because they can be transported, but
Right.
also I can use the water from the sea to bring back just that little bit of Ireland with me.
What a little tiny thing that's absolutely huge is the water from the sea. And I think, that's, but not only did you talk about your work, but then you realize how important it is for artists to know how, that big word, how to
Mhm.
talk about the work,
Yeah.
plus getting over the jitters of it. And
Yeah.
you ended up loving every minute of it.
I did. I really enjoyed speaking with the people and letting them know what inspires my work.
Yes.
And by them knowing what inspires my work, it actually, in turn, resulted in even more sales.
Well,
Which,
that's what I was gonna bring up. See, when you know
yeah,
how to talk about your work, people wanna know about you and your art,
they
and when
do.
they wanna know about both things, you've got a sale.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I had made sales before that, but this actually probably doubled the sales that I had.
See,
I
that's
had
awesome.
Yeah, and people were asking me very specific about different things, different places. What brought you to this little
Sure,
cottage, or what brought you to this ruin that ended up being a painting? And it was I've got such joy out of talking to the people and relating my experiences because I feel that I want people to be as infectious about whatever it is that inspires them. For me, it's
sure.
Ireland.
Yeah.
But it's just I think it's important that they know why the colors. I love going in the fall because I love the rust. There's amazing rust, but yet there's the purples and the
Yeah. Yeah.
yellows of the heather and gorse. So you have all those colors playing off each other on the side of mountains. So it just is incredible. And I talking to the people couldn't be more of a pleasure to me.
See, and that's so okay, so now you did that, and then, guys, this woman is hot. Um, then you got a residency in Germany.
I did. I did. You never know. And I like meeting people anyway. So, but you never know who you're going to meet and where it's going to take you. But I had met some other artists. I'd taken a summer course at the Byrne College of Design, which is on it's up in County Clare, just south of Galway, and met some artists there, and they were from Germany. Well, that was about 3 or 4 years ago. That was before the pandemic, and I got contacted by them to see if I would be interested in coming for a residency. It's a 2-week residency. They pretty much take care of everything. So I was like, I think that would be a great opportunity to do some more
Oh,
looking.
it's
I
awesome.
mean, yeah, and this is in July. It's in the high season. It's summertime. And yes, I'll be anxious to leave Alabama and the heat and humidity.
Yes, yes, I'm sure you will, and, you know, look at the growth. You took a chance, took the master class, took a bigger chance, and we've spent 2 years together
Yeah.
coaching,
Hmm.
and you changed your style, you changed your brush strokes, you changed your colors, you changed so much. You grew in confidence, you grew in the fact of, um yeah, you grew yeah, as far as you changed your subject matter too, didn't you? Because you
I
went to
did.
abstract, and
Mhm.
then all of these things started happening, and that's what happens when you're passionate and you take action, and you took action.
And the action is really important. I mean, getting out
Yes.
there and meeting the people and being willing to talk about and knowing why your art is what it is. And where
Yes.
I think it's so important to be able to talk about why you like certain colors. Rust is a favorite color of mine. I know it has a hint of red, but I still like it. But
Yes.
the rust to me shows passing of time. And I think the passing of time is what a lot of things are about.
Yes. Yeah. But you've just blossomed and grown so much that
I've done a lot of that because of you, though.
oh, you're
You
sweet.
are you are a huge inspiration to me with the way that you work with your clients. You take it 110% seriously. Um, I couldn't have done it without you. I wouldn't have seen some of the things I needed to see to move forward, and I wouldn't have been able to establish the things that I have. Um, I never would have gone into abstracts. I would have continued to use I would have continued to use every color I could come up with
I
paint.
love it. I love it. Well, I do take it very seriously because your success is my success. And so
Absolutely.
that's great, but I applaud you for your growth, but you worked. See,
I
there's a
did. I
difference,
did.
and you had the accountability, you met with that, you did it, and that's
And
the difference.
without your challenges though, you would challenge me to do different things. Without you challenging me, it sounds like we're just going back and forth, but it's just so true. Without you putting the challenges out there and challenging me to be more, I wouldn't be more.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
still do the same, which would, that's okay for some people. But I really, really want to be an excelling artist. I really want to be someone
yes.
that's out there and can produce work that people brings joy to other people.
Yeah, that brings joy. I mean, like I think one of the big challenges that I offer people is when they try something new, I say, don't do a onesie on that, do 5 because
Mhm.
you then learn about it. You may say, oh, but I didn't like that. I did one. Well, do 5 and find out why.
Yeah, find out what direction you do like, because
Yeah,
usually they're the
yeah,
direction that you do
yeah.
like. And you actually challenged me at one point to do a painting with plenty of red.
Oh, I did. I
And it
did. It
hurt.
was
It
just
hurt.
it was kind of like, okay, I'm going to really have fun with her this time.
But I
So,
did start to find colors I did like.
but I have loved watching you grow. You're a real inspiration because you take your art seriously. You've invested in yourself. You really have to admire what you've done because it shows the confidence now that you have a you're an accomplished artist, museum show, residency, all these things with great paintings, and so congratulations. And
Thank you
now,
so much.
what is your website so people can go and look?
It's margaretdukeman.com. Quick,
Okay.
easy, and simple.
All right. Um, any last words before we go? I mean, did you any just to artists, what do they need? What I mean, just whatever you think.
I think if I were talking to my younger self, I'd say go ahead and put it out there. Put it out there. You don't know unless you put it out there where it's going to go. And also challenge yourself to work with the coach, because I think having someone point out your pluses as well as your minuses is so important. And also
Yeah.
they can help you see the see past all the trees. You can see past the noise. Sometimes we grab the first thing that's noise and grab onto it and move on,
Yeah.
but they help you focus and get to where you want to go, and they'll be a lifelong friend.
Definitely. Definitely. And yeah, and this way you get to take the foot off the brake and put it
Yeah,
on the accelerator.
yeah, and I never would have done that had it not been for signing up for the class that I did first and going into coaching with you.
Yeah. Well,
So important.
thank you for this, and thanks for sharing your journey because it's an inspiration for others, and so, I'm sure they can email you if they've got questions.
Absolutely, it's just margaretdukeman@gmail.com.
There you go, simple, simple, and that's great, that's easy to
And
remember, so
I'd love to hear from them.
that's a great I mean, I love to hear from my people, so I agree with you,
Yeah.
so yeah, so thank you so much for sharing, I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me and also for being my great friend and coach.
Thank you. And we will see you guys later. And thanks for joining us. Bye. And remember, I love you.